What's up, Thumpers? Welcome back to another episode of Hyper Heroes. Well, actually, we're doing a trailer reaction. We haven't done a trailer reaction in a while. Actually,
it's been a minute.
It's been a hot minute. I've seen multiple versions of the Black Widow trailer, but we're doing the first official teaser trailer for Black Widow.
Where'd you see him?
D23 and at Comic-Con. There was some stuff.
Okay.
So don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me.
Well, I mean,
Hector's mad.
You can't be mad at that special access you've had. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's special. I just answered the emails on time, I guess.
I haven't seen it. So
I guess.
I'm good.
I know.
I have seen this trailer. I have seen.
I was like, "Hey, we're gonna do this trailer reaction for Black Widow."
You know?
Yeah. And then Hector starts tweeting about the trailer. I'm like, "Did this son of a bitch already watch it?"
No.
Seen it.
You're getting the order of operations wrong. Trailer dropped late last night, like midnight, midnight 30 or something. I'm on
like
Twitter.
right at midnight.
Going
by the
to
way,
see
like Marvel, why do you keep releasing trailers either at 5 a.m. or at midnight? Just wait at
why?
9 a.m.
Oh, I know. But didn't a Bond trailer come out today or will
Tomorrow.
soon?
Comes out tomorrow.
They're trying to cut Bond out from under him. I think that's what it is. They're like, oh, you got a big spy franchise? Marvel's going to take over everything.
They're just flexing at this point. They're like, we could drop a trailer at 4 a.m. and everybody's going to watch it.
It's true.
So I watched it last night as I was like going to sleep, and I was like, oh, shit. Very excited about it. And then woke up this morning, and you guys are like, well, we got to do Black Widow. And you're like, yes. And I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
The Widow. Oh, well, I want to ask you expectations, but you've already seen it, so I guess you kind of...
I could talk about expectations about the movie.
Okay, let's hear it.
The movie, it is a prequel. We had this discussion, and I keep remembering, specifically, Augustine, the type of stuff that you said, the things, the points you brought up.
Absolutely.
This is coming out of Avengers Endgame to us. This is not what's happening in the timeline, but Black Widow is dead.
Yes.
And a lot of fans, a lot of Black Widow fans were understandably upset. Your character's gone, and that's a bummer. And you, along with many people, were like, she got shortchanged in that movie. She should have been in that final battle. We didn't get enough time. All of that stuff is valid. She's been a great supporting character in the Marvel movies up to this point. Never had a solo. But we had the discussion of, well, what can the Black Widow movie do now that we know where her story ends?
Exactly.
And it's about fleshing out the character. It's about getting really meaty with the character stuff and figuring out what this can bring to her sort of like journey and headspace, and what could add to where Natasha Romanoff, the Black Widow, is coming out of Captain America Civil War into Avengers Infinity War, where she gets the blonde hair.
There's 2 years of untouched history.
Story. And the other thing that I think, for me, what I am looking forward to in this movie is for it to feel unlike any other Marvel movie.
Right.
I want that.
I want this to be straight up just spy.
That's what I'm talking about.
Straight up super spy movie.
Those are my expectations.
The other thing I was thinking about, too, is as much as I don't like how they shortchanged her, would I have felt this way if they didn't kill her? Like, would I have been like, oh, well, she's all right because she's alive, and she's just kind of there.
So you're saying the fact that Black Widow's dead as a character even gives more importance to this movie?
Well, for me, possibly, just because as I was thinking about it today, I was like, man, like, would I have made that argument or felt that way if she had not died?
Sure.
And maybe not. Like, I have a feeling that I maybe would have glanced over her at this point. I'm hoping that's not why they killed her off or why they're doing this, but I'm just it's weird. It's a little backwards kind of thinking.
I hear what you're saying because on the one hand, you want the character to be done like its service. You want the Black Widow of the comic books to be faithfully translated to the movies.
Right.
And on the other hand, what they've done with her character in the movies, the sort of little that we've seen her, to me it made so much dramatic sense for her storyline to end where she was like, you're my family, and I'm doing this because that whole,
it's even more heart-wrenching. That's why I'm so upset, because it's heart-wrenching.
I know. It's a thing where me as a movie viewer, I'm like, God dang it, that makes perfect sense that she would be better than Clint, and she would be the one to sacrifice herself to let Clint go and see his family, because her family was the Avengers, and now we come to this, and I'm like, man, I also do kind of wish maybe the character could have still stuck around, and this would have been in the present day. This could have been post, Endgame, just like Spider-Man Far From Home, but I don't know. I thought she had a fitting end,
Never.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this is just a prequel to Stranger Things season 4.
Where's Harbour? What happened to him?
He went to Russia and he became a Red Guardian. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Should we just check this bad boy out?
Into it.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. Budapest.
We've been
I
there.
used to have nothing. And then I got this job.
I hope we see Fury in this movie too, dude. I hope
She
Nick Fury
addresses it
shows
right
up.
away.
Nothing lasts forever. Yeah.
Heard you had to leave in a hurry.
It's never easy.
We've been in that train station.
You guys are we Black Widow?
So what are you
Oh,
going to do?
Thunderbolt Ross.
I've lived a lot of lives, but I'm done running from my past.
I know you're out there.
I know you know I'm out here. So we're gonna talk like grown-ups?
Is that what we are?
Oh, okay.
This shit feels like Born to me,
does.
and I like it.
It's
Whoa.
good.
It's good to see you too, sis.
What brings you home?
I also love a thick Russian accent.
Yeah.
Like, that's great.
Yelena.
We have unfinished business.
Ooh, I
Cool
like that
costume.
outfit.
Yeah.
We have to go back
whoa.
to where it all started.
Back to where it all started.
Oh, sick.
Whoa, that was a dope.
One thing's for sure. It's gonna be
Taskmaster.
a hell of a reunion.
Rachel Weisz.
Hopper.
Hopper, my boy.
Still fits. Family.
Family.
Back together again.
You got fat.
Dude, I really like that actor. He's great.
Yeah. Wow.
This shit looks like Mission Impossible, dude.
Yeah. Except Christopher McQuarrie does it for real.
Right. And I'll take CG. I know it's CG. Don't kill yourself, please.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
you guys pointed out some stuff that I missed the first time because I've only seen it one
Okay.
time. That was the
Yeah,
second
yeah,
time
yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had not even noticed it. Really, it seems like the whole plot of it is we have to go back to where it started, and it
Yeah.
looks like my theory is that they're going to literally end the Red Room, the program where young women are trained to be Russian assassins.
okay.
Which to me is like, yeah, when you end that, where else is there left for Black Widow to go?
Right.
other
That's
than
her whole history.
Fully
Yeah.
embrace the Avengers and be
yeah.
like,
Right.
no, dude, I literally.
I left my past behind.
I took
Right.
the red out of my ledger.
Yeah.
I cleaned it up.
Yeah.
And that's
Interesting.
it's like Bourne going back to Treadstone.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like
Yeah.
him
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
shutting it down so that nobody else will.
What do you think that means for characters like Yelena and the
Well-
character that Rachel Weisz plays?
Okay, well, first of all, how'd y'all feel about the trailer? Let's talk about that.
Oh, I think it's a really cool trailer. I like the fact that it is very much setting up a Bourne-esque type of spy story.
Right.
And there seems like, for whatever the events that are going to take place between Civil War and Infinity War, I'm excited to see sort of what we're going to dive into. But they're not going to be these like
Shattering.
world-shattering events. They're
universe
going to be very personal
exploding.
to the
Yeah.
widow, and not just to. Doesn't seem like it's necessarily just going to be to Natasha. It'll also be to this little family that she's
Right.
regrouped with or put back together, including the Red Guardian. So I'm excited to see the dynamics of this relationship, and I think I've been so used to seeing Natasha playing with the boys in the Avengers. It's going to be
Right.
interesting to see her play with characters like Yelena
Yes.
and the other female characters, and also Red Guardian
Right.
and Taskmaster. I mean, this trailer gives us literally nothing about the character.
Right.
Right.
But it gives you a little bit of an insight how the character looks,
Yeah.
and the lengths that this character seems to be going to accomplish whatever mission they're trying to accomplish. So seeing how all that's going to play together, and I'm just excited that it's going to take place in Europe in real cities.
Right.
So that'll be cool.
Right.
Places that like we've been to, which was really cool to see.
Right.
And I love the actors. Like all four of these actors: David Harbour, Florence Pugh, Rachel Weisz, and Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
What is Florence Pugh from?
Oof. Midsummer. She's
That's
going to be
right.
in Little Women. She
right.
was in Fighting with My Family, where she played Paige the Wrestler.
Is she
wow.
still in that one? She's still fighting with her family, seems
I
like.
know. She's still fighting with her family.
Yeah. It seems like also like around Midsummer. Like pretty much she's just doing the same
Yeah,
movie
yeah,
over and over
yeah,
again.
basically, just over and over again.
She's amazing. I like really have enjoyed all the work that she's been doing
Yeah.
most recently. So when she was announced to be in this movie, I got super excited.
Okay.
I'm all aboard that hype train.
Augustine,
Yeah, so
hit us with your honest
so
opinions.
Well, they're not messing around, that's for sure. Like they're bringing heat. Like if you look at all of her facial expressions, especially I noticed when she was flying down the final shot, really, there's this look of intensity on her face. And I'm just like, dude, these guys are bringing it on every frame. They're making sure that she is Black Widow through and through from
Yeah.
front to back, which
Yeah.
is awesome. And I really like that they're going for that family dynamic because that was my biggest argument. Like, she is clearly damaged from something. And
Right.
she more than likely had a family ripped away from her while she was still very aware of that and we don't necessarily know what they did to her at that school.
Yeah.
And how they
We've only seen
brainwash
like little
people.
glimpses of it.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
We don't know if her memories have been completely wiped. We don't know what exactly is going on. So to see this kind of family dynamic, like, is this a family of them that does this? Like, does their whole lineage do this? Because it
Romanoffs?
looks, yeah, the Romanoffs. Are they
Right.
a huge, like a what do they call them? A legacy family.
Daughter of Ivan.
Exactly. And so are they a legacy family in this school? Is she breaking it off? Is she the one ending this legacy of kind of
The
like
cycle.
maybe not the greatest past, you know?
Right, and
so
redeeming this cycle or whatever.
right,
Yeah.
exactly, which would be pretty cool, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are just initial thoughts.
Yeah.
Not exactly sure.
You know what?
Taskmaster looks amazing.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people talking about the look of the character and a lot of people not liking it.
Oh, sure.
But I mean, you're never gonna get a 1-to-1.
No.
You're gonna get something that's like inspired by and
Right.
like we've seen so many superhero costumes that are very close to how they look in the comics,
Yeah.
but none
Yeah.
are exactly
No.
how they are.
Especially with this one, I just want to do a little like side note here. If people are saying like, I love Taskmaster from the comic books, he's one of my favorite characters, and I love the way that he looks. There's a part of me that's always going to be like, yeah, just like how people were like, I love Mandarin, and they ruined
Right.
Mandarin. I'm like, really? I understand that there's fans of Taskmaster. I'm one of them. I think he's a great villain, but
He
he's
is,
not an
yeah.
A-list villain.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's this great like B-lister, C-lister who
He's a good thorn in your side, but nothing more.
And the other thing I'll say is, as much as I love his costume in the comic books, and I do love it, it is redonkulous.
It is ridiculous.
And there's literally no way it could one-to-one translate.
So
I trust the team of the Marvel visual development team. I trust that when we see more of this character in action, we'll be like, oh, that's dope. Like, we'll
Yeah.
see how what the powers or abilities
Yeah.
will manifest into.
The first thing that I saw Taskmaster in, it was a fight scene on a bridge with, I'm pretty sure it was Black Widow.
Okay.
And it looked great. I mean, the costume looked really, really cool.
Okay.
And Taskmaster was mimicking a lot of the moves that Natasha was.
Yeah,
So
like
I'm
that.
ooh, interesting.
I
Is
like
this
that.
going to play into, like, are we going to flip the identity of Taskmaster? Probably.
Maybe,
But
maybe.
who could it be? That could be fun.
The-
I love
Yeah.
the fact that the Red Guardian costume is very much, like, straight from the comics, though.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's that Captain America knockoff,
Yeah.
and it looks crappy.
Yeah.
That's
And I
and I
love
feel
it.
like that feeds into the
one
character.
thing to go back into Taskmaster is one of the writers of All New Wolverine posted a from the comic when Taskmaster finds out that Wolverine has claws in her feet. And so he was like, he was bragging to her. He's blocking all of her kicks, and he goes, I can counter every kick you
Yeah.
make. He grabs her foot, and then the blade goes through.
Sick.
Right, the blade goes through, rips it out of his hand. But one thing about the Taskmaster costume is that he paints teeth on the outside of his
Yes.
mouth.
Yeah.
So then he was like grimacing with teeth here and
Yeah.
teeth on the outside. Like, you can't be mad at that, dude.
Yeah,
He's
right.
wearing like this hobbit cape.
Yeah.
You know, he has
That's
a shield
hilarious.
and a sword and a bow.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man. You can't like go 1-to-1. And
For
if
sure.
if you're upset because it's not super faithful, you haven't been watching the rest of the MCU.
Right.
Because it's not 1-to-1, really.
Yeah.
And they know what to leave on the page and what to
Yeah, exactly.
adapt from the
Exactly.
page.
Yeah.
And the exciting thing is what this movie could, again, a lot of people are saying, I want to talk about a couple things. A lot of people are saying this is a prequel, so ultimately it's not moving the story forward. It doesn't matter. But a lot of other people are going, do you think they're going to introduce a bunch of new side characters and not have Florence
Use them
Pugh,
later.
like
Right,
like
right.
Florence Pugh, who's playing
Show up later. Yeah.
Yelena
Belova, I think.
yeah.
Bolieva.
Belova is a Black Widow in the comics as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she
She
could
could
take up
be
the
the
mantle.
new
Yeah,
You know,
like
we could
what-
see Taskmaster later. One of Taskmaster's arch enemies in the comic book, it's a one-sided relationship, is Scott Lang, Ant-Man, Paul Rudd. Like literally, Paul Rudd deals with Taskmaster
I
all
remember
the time.
in that
and
one,
Paul
yeah.
Rudd's always like, "It's my arch enemy, Taskmaster," and he's like, "Who are you?
I don't know
Like,
who you are,
I don't.
yeah.
But you're not the first Ant-Man, dude. I don't give a shit about you like
Yeah,
that."
exactly.
So we might see
Yeah.
a
Well,
new iteration of the Taskmaster costume.
Imagine
Right.
what's going to happen when, if any of these people survive this movie, they find out she passed away.
Right?
You know?
Right.
Like
We talked about it, I think. We talked
Yeah.
about like a prologue,
Yeah.
the movie, and an epilogue of
Right.
like where are these characters when
Yeah.
they find out Natasha
Yes.
Romanoff is
The
killed.
epilogue
Exactly.
could be set in 2023 or whatever, like
Exactly.
after post Endgame.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Another
yeah.
thing I want to mention too that I'm excited about is Augustine. You're as you're talking about the cast of the movie, I was like, okay, and you were talking about how to you Natasha probably had a family ripped away from her. I couldn't help but think about the really awkward but interesting story point in Avengers: Age of Ultron where she's like, I can't have children.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this
Yes.
that's what this
Yeah,
place
yeah,
did to
yeah.
me.
Right,
And then she unfortunately used that language of like, I'm a monster too when she was
Mm-hmm.
talking to Bruce Banner. And some people took that as like,
Yeah.
does she think she's a monster because she can't have kids? Is she saying she's a monster because she is a murderer?
Right.
I think that this movie could go into that
It could,
and
yeah.
effectively like redeem the awkwardness that people felt that Avengers:
During
Age
that.
of Ultron had, and actually going into it and being like, well, how does Natasha feel about it?
Right,
What does
right.
it mean? You know, like to just explore that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only that,
you know-
you have really great supporting characters. One who's older, more of a mentor, and one who's younger, more of an apprentice.
Yeah.
And like, if they chose to, they could go into those things and talk about the effects it's had on each of those characters.
Absolutely. I mean, it looks like they're gonna have family talks from,
Right.
from like
Yeah.
the most what this is happening here.
Yeah.
I feel like
yeah.
we're really gonna get a semblance of some kind of family unit, but
I think
we'll see.
I think that I'm really looking forward to what Natasha brings to this story in the beginning versus where she is at the end. Again, if they take down the Red Room, if they destroy it, it could really feed into like, yeah, now I could see how she was just down to make that decision in Endgame
At that point,
because
yeah.
she literally was like, I crossed everything off of my list. Clint, you need to go see your family. Like I saw my family.
Yeah.
We had a 2-hour movie about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your family was dust
We
for
went
2
through that
seconds.
shit, yeah.
We went through that. And I think that as far as the Red Room procedures and stuff like that, the fact that this movie focuses on Natasha and she's not just a supporting character in an Avengers movie could, again, redeem that story decision.
Yeah.
The same way that people are like, you didn't use Renee Russo in the
Right.
Thor movies, in Thor 2.
Right.
They brought her back
And
in
in
Endgame.
Endgame, it's like,
Right.
damn, what a moment.
What a moment.
Yeah.
I feel like we could hopefully get something like that.
Something like
And
that.
I hope so. You know, we have a female director helming this, and the action looks insane.
On point,
And I
yep.
am counting on you guys waited entirely too long to make this movie. This script better be damn good.
Yeah,
It better be
And
amazing.
Another thing I want to mention, I saw the internet talking about this. You have this guy who's following her,
Which
Mr.
guy?
Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh, okay.
Looks a little weird with this maybe CG.
It's
really
a CG
weird.
face.
and I'm
it's
like,
a CG face.
I'm
for
like,
sure.
is this supposed to be in 2016?
No
Which I'm
idea.
like, did
'Cause,
we need to?
dude-
did we need to do it to William Hurt?
Dude
3 years
looked
ago?
older in the Incredible Hulk in 2008.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, like don't make him too young.
I,
Unless
I also wonder if this movie's going to jump around a little bit. In
It
time.
might.
I think
I
it might.
mean,
I think
and,
it
if,
might.
and if that's why they did it, otherwise I'm
Maybe.
like, why did we need to de-age him?
good point.
Well,
you know what? Now
yeah.
that I'm talking about it, this could be that all-encompassing her entire life.
Right,
And
exactly.
according to the MCU, she was born in like 1984. Started to get trained and start. You know, so
What if this is when he first shows up in 1984
Yeah,
and
yeah.
is like, you need to enroll her in this or
yeah,
whatever?
This child's gonna, you know, what?
Yeah,
Or we're gonna take
whatever
her.
it
She's
is,
gonna
yeah.
be Shield or whatever. But people are saying the fact that he's in the movie, they're setting up the Thunderbolts, the team of villains who are masquerading as heroes
Right.
in the Marvel universe. Versions of that are the Thunderbolts. Versions of that are like the Masters of Evil. Versions of that are there's one that has Baron Zemo leading the Thunderbolts. These are all characters that like Ross could get access to Zemo.
Right,
Yeah,
You know,
true.
we'll see that character again in Falcon and Winter
Yeah.
Soldier. Like this could still be setting up some Thunderbolt Ross stuff that could lead to a
Red
whole-
Hulk.
a
I
whole
will-
new-
I will say
that's
I'm-
what I'm saying. Red Hulk, baby.
I will say I'm also very, very surprised with how much Thunderbolt Ross has been used in this like
post Hulk.
post-Hulk world because he showed up in 2008 and then it was like, oh, I guess we'll never see these characters again.
yeah.
And now he's shown up 3 or 4 times and he'll be
Yeah.
in this again. You're like,
Yeah.
okay.
He's got something to do. He's
yeah, I'm
got
like,
something
okay,
to
and
do,
at
yeah.
what point? I mean, they can't make a Hulk standalone movie, obviously. But
Or can they? Just do it, Disney. You have the money. Just
do it.
I don't
It's
know.
fine.
But at what
Buy
point
it
will,
out.
will them and Universal like figure out how
Do
to
it.
put those two characters together back in a Hulk movie? I don't know. It might never happen, but
would be
but
so-
maybe with She-Hulk it could.
It could, I hope so. I
Yeah.
hope that
Yeah.
I hope that She-Hulk has some Ruffalo in it, but I hope
Yeah.
that there's one more Hulk proper movie that Ruffalo basically is the last time he's the Hulk.
Right.
Augustine, like you're saying, he's the villain this time. He's lost control. We get a full-on Hulk is the most powerful, dangerous thing on
Right,
Earth.
right, right.
We have to contain him. But maybe let's send in a little Canadian guy to try to. Oh, he gets his ass
Oh,
kicked.
he
But
gets-
there's your
gets eaten? Okay.
There's your he gets eaten. Oh, he gets ripped in half. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Bye.
There's your setup for the X-Men later,
Yeah.
but it would be him at the end, sort of handing off the baton to
She-Hulk.
Jennifer, to She-Hulk,
Right.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and
yeah.
planting seeds of like, here's Amadeus Cho,
Yeah.
you know, here's Rick Jones, Leonard Samson, boom, 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 the whole Hulk world, and that could be Ruffalo's swan song.
I think also like this movie can be different from the Winter Soldier because Winter Soldier was very much played for the most part like I don't want to say realistic, but it had a style and a groundedness to it that feels different than this. This feels more, I would say, the Winter Soldier feels a little bit more Mission Impossible. This feels a little bit more born in James Bond.
I would agree
Okay.
with that.
and
Daniel
like
Craig Bond.
there's
for
a
sure.
lot of similarities there, but there are also like stylistic little choices that
Yeah.
also make them
Yeah.
very different.
Right.
But it looks good. I'm really
yeah.
excited to see it.
It looks promising, that's for
Yeah.
sure. Now I'm looking forward to it much more than I was earlier.
For sure.
Okay.
Before
Okay.
watching this
Yeah.
trailer, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I want to see more trailers to kind of get a little bit more idea of what the story can bring us. But as far as like the locations and how it looks, again, great. European, you know, we went on a trip.
I think we stayed in that
We
place.
stayed
while we
in
were
that
there.
place.
Honestly,
Yeah.
that building, I was
It's
going to say, I'm
dope.
like, didn't we go up that
Yeah.
elevator? It looks very
It
familiar.
looks a lot like the
Really
place
cool.
we stayed at.
Yeah.
Love all those Russian accents. It's great.
Yeah.
Because Nat never had a Russian accent
No,
in these
no.
movies,
Yeah.
so it's cool that they can acknowledge
Yeah,
it.
yeah, for sure.
All right.
But guys, let us know in the comments what you thought about this first teaser trailer for Black Widow. Are you excited? Is there any other Easter eggs that we missed that you spotted? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you guys report to Patreon for early access to a whole bunch of other content, including our final episode of the Titans podcast for season 2. And we're just continuing on with The Mandalorian season 1. We're gonna do episode 4 and plenty more things on the way. See you in the next episode. Bye.